Hi everyone, my name is Xavier, and in this video we're going to take a look at how you can deploy functions to AWS and how you can run them locally for testing. So here I have the demo project that I generated in the previous video, and it contains a simple function. And let's say that I want to deploy this entire project to AWS. Well, all I have to do is open up the terminal and run SLS deploy inside this directory. Now what this will do is it will translate the contents of serverless.yaml into a single CloudFormation template. It will also create a zip file of all your functions and resources and upload them to S3. Then it will provision all the required resources. So this includes your functions as well as other resources such as an S3 bucket or some DynamoDB tables. Because this uses CloudFormation, you get a lot of assurances. For example, CloudFormation will automatically roll back your changes when something went wrong during a deploy. It will keep your infrastructure consistent at all times, preventing parts of your applications to be updated while others are outdated because of potential errors. So here Serverless says that it's been updating my stack and that the stack update has finished. It says that it has deployed the awesome API to the development stage in the EU West 1 region, and it hasn't created any API keys, it hasn't created endpoints, and it deployed my hello function. So let's take a look at the AWS console and see what this looks like. So I'm going to navigate to the CloudFormation management console. And here we can see that Serverless has created a new stack called Awesome API-dev. Awesome API is the name of our service, and the framework appended dev to indicate the stage. So this is the development stage. We can also have multiple stages deployed to AWS at the same time. Now, if I open up the details of this stack, I can see the resources that are deployed for this stack. So here we can see that Serverless has provisioned a Lambda function. We can also see that it has created a log group in CloudWatch, and it created an execution role for a Lambda function as well as an S3 bucket. The S3 bucket is used by Serverless to upload your stack's configuration and the source code for your functions. Now let's also check the Lambda console. So let's go to services, let's go and find Lambda. And here you can see all the functions that I have deployed right now to my account. And here is Awesome API dev-hello. So in this case, again, Awesome API is the name of my service, dev is the name of the stage, and hello is the name of my function. If I open this up, I can see the source code that was generated in the previous video. Now it's important to note that you should not change anything here in this web interface. If you change the source code or some other parameters in here, it will be overwritten the next time you execute SLS deploy. So if you want to change the amount of memory that's allocated to your function, for instance, then you need to do it through the serverless.yaml file. So that's how you deploy functions. Let's now quickly take a look at how you can execute functions. There are two options. Either you execute the function locally or you execute it on the cloud. Let's start with cloud execution. So I'm going to go back to Visual Studio Code here, and I'm going to run SLS invoke. And then I'm going to say that I want to invoke a function, and I want to invoke the hello function. If I type enter, this will go out to AWS, trigger my hello function, and then show us the output. And so this is the response of our function. It's a JSON object with a status code and with a body, just as we defined here in the function hello. So here we're returning the status code and the body. Now you might also want to test functions locally before you upload them to the cloud, and you can do that to a certain extent. So if I type SLS invoke local and then function hello, then this will try to emulate the AWS Lambda environment as best as possible. And as you can see, it has returned the same JSON object as before. Now it's important to note that it's not always possible to use this technique. If you're using an AWS service such as SES or S3, you cannot execute your functions locally because these aren't available on your machine. For these, you have to provide mock objects. Other services such as DynamoDB, however, can run on your machine. So keep that in mind when you are designing your architecture and foresee a flexible way to let your functions work with local instances of DynamoDB, for example. So that was it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to connect your functions to API Gateway so they can be called through HTTP calls. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel or leave a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.